In this video, you're going to get an in-depth overview of the OpenAI platform when you're building with GPT-4, as well as the Playground through OpenAI, which is where you can test out what the API calls will look like before you actually build it in your app. This is a free preview of our full tutorial on No-Code MBA, where we build a text generation app that allows you to generate Facebook ad copy using a chatbot. So if you want to access the full tutorial after the video, check the link below and go to our Building Apps with AI course on No-Code MBA. And I hope you enjoy this free preview. Let me know if you have any questions at all in the comments below. Welcome to No-Code MBA's Building Apps with AI course. I'm so excited to have you here. In this video, we're going to learn how to build a Facebook ad generator using OpenAI and Bubble. You're going to learn how to build this step by step, even if you've never built an app or website before, you've never used Bubble or no-code tools before. So you're going to learn how to do all of these things step by step with me, and you're going to be able to follow along and build this product at the end of this tutorial. So I'm going to quickly demonstrate what you're going to be building. So we're going to have an input and an output area. Let's type in a product description, and then we're going to get an output, which is going to be a Facebook ad that the AI has generated. So let's come up with a product. Let's say a basketball that never goes flat, and let's generate. And there we go. So now we have a Facebook ad that was generated based on the input here. So you're going to learn how to build this step by step. Let's go ahead and get started. So to get started, you're going to want to go to platform.openai.com. If you don't have an account yet on OpenAI, click sign up on the top right and create an account, and then meet me in the dashboard of the OpenAI platform. So here we are in the OpenAI dashboard. So I'm going to show you how to use the OpenAI Playground, which is a way to test out using the OpenAI API on their platform, so you can put in a prompt and get a response and see what that's going to look like before you build it into your own app. Then I'm going to walk through the OpenAI documentation, and then we're going to start building in Bubble. So here on the top left side, we're going to go over to the Playground. Now, OpenAI is constantly changing the layout a little bit of their dashboard. So if you're watching this in the future, the Playground might be in a slightly different place. It might be set up slightly differently, but hopefully this is similar to what you are seeing right now in OpenAI. So here on the top, there's a Playground for assistance and a Playground for chat. They also have a Playground for complete and edit, which are, as you can see, legacy models, which may not even be available by the time you are watching this video. But I want to focus on the chat model here. So we'll get to assistance later on, but right now I want to stick with chat. So here in the chat Playground, we have a few different things that we can adjust. So first we have a system message. This is a message, or you can think of it as a set of instructions that we're going to send along with every chat to just give the model a little bit more basically instructions on how to respond. So in this case, we're going to be building a Facebook ad generator. So what I might say is you are an expert marketer and copywriter. So it's just giving a little bit more instructions and detail to the system. So this is called the system message. On the right side here, you can choose the model. In our case, we can stick with GPT 3.5 Turbo. Again, if you're watching this in the future, GPT-4 Turbo may be released. Right now, it's essentially in preview, so I'm not going to do that right now. GPT-4 is currently available as of the recording, but the way that you're going to build it into your app and use the API is the exact same right now, whether you're using GPT 3.5 Turbo, GPT-4, GPT-4, this will end up being GPT-4 Turbo. So it doesn't actually matter in terms of the setup of which model we choose. So I'm going to choose GPT 3.5 Turbo right now, which is the quickest and cheapest model to use. I'm going to leave the temperature at the default. This is just a way to basically control randomness. So the lower it is, the less random it is, and the same as we go higher. So 1 is just kind of in the middle of you can kind of think of it as creativity. Maximum length, I can just put this up to around 600 or 619 here. This is the maximum length that the AI will respond with in tokens. So I'll get to what tokens are a little bit later, but just know that a token is essentially a representation for words or letters. And in the English language, I believe it's about 3 words equals 1 token. So here's a tool here that OpenAI provides, and you can see how many tokens a word will be. So let's just copy in this paragraph here on the top, or maybe the first sentence here, or first line. Let's paste it in. So we can see 89 characters, 19 tokens. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 words was 19 tokens. So as you can see, it's not perfect, and it's based on characters and a few different things. You can see here on the bottom, this translates to roughly a third of a word is 1 token. So just keep that in mind as I use the word token instead of words. And that's what in this playground here, OpenAI is referring to when they use maximum length of 619 tokens. Okay, I'm going to leave everything else at the default right now. It's not important to understand at this moment. And now what we're going to do is add in a message. So this is the message that the user would be putting in. So think of it as if you were using ChatGPT, what you would have is kind of a user message. That's the message that you would be using when you are sending it into ChatGPT. So let's enter a message here, which is going to be, please write a Facebook ad for the following product. Don't use hashtags. Please write it, or please be 1 to 2 sentences. And then what I'm going to do is say product, a basketball that never deflates. So this is the prompt that I'm going to experiment with first for the user. So you can play around with it a little bit on your side as well. But let's now go ahead and submit. And then what we're going to get is the result from the assistant in the chat. So this, it went ahead and responded with a Facebook ad for this specific product. Okay, great. So that is all we need to do with the playground for right now. For the use case that we're going to be building in this first tutorial, we're just going to be sending one message and getting one message back. We're not going to be responding to this message in more of a chat interface. That's something that you're going to learn later on in a future tutorial. But in this tutorial, we're just going to focus on one user message and getting one response back from the AI. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to go over is the API documentation really quickly, and then we're going to start building in Bubble and building our app. So let's go back to the dashboard at the top, and then here what I'm going to click on is API reference. And this is the API documentation. So I'm not going to go over it in too much detail at the moment. We're going to use it as we're building our app in Bubble. But just know that this is how you get to the API documentation. If for some reason it's not set up like this, you can always search OpenAI API reference in Google, and this page will come up. And then we have authentication. This is what we're going to use as we start building to authenticate our app, which basically means connecting our Bubble app that we're building to our OpenAI account, so that way we can access the API through our own account. And then we're going to use the chat endpoint. So this is the endpoint that we're going to use to essentially replicate what we just built in the playground in our own Bubble app by using the API. So an API, if you are not familiar, is essentially a way to connect our Bubble app to external services. So this is what we're going to use to connect to the OpenAI API and connect to their AI GPT models. But it's also what you're going to use for other AI services such as Stable Diffusion in order to connect to other image generation models. And it's also what you can use to connect to a variety of different types of services. So it's very, very useful. And what you're learning in this tutorial is something that you're going to be able to use in other apps or use cases that you're going to build in the future. So now let's go ahead and go into Bubble and start building our app. I hope that this video was helpful. If you want to continue with the tutorial, go to nocode.mba's Building Apps with AI course. You can also check the link below to actually go to the course. And if you have any questions at all, please just leave a comment below and be sure to subscribe to get all of our content that we're releasing for free in the future as well.